Jocks is a 1986 sports comedy about a team of college tennis players that need to win in the worst way, so of course they do. Directed by Steve Carver, Jocks stars Scott Strader, Perry Long, Mariska Hargitay, Richard Roundtree, and Christopher Lee. On a university campus, the head of the athletic department wants money for the football team, and he's willing to get rid of the tennis program to do it, unless they can win a championship. The tennis program is a crew of degenerates, led by the Kid, the team hotshot. There's also a prep, a big guy, Mr. Jerry Curl, a Texan, and a Mexican. Can they overcome their foibles and win the championship in Las Vegas? Can they survive Las Vegas? Can Las Vegas survive them? Jocks was filmed on location in Vegas and LA in November of '84, but was held for theatrical release until November of '86. And that explains a poster that features nobody in the cast or any scenes from the movie. As a sports film, Jocks has the basic requirements, the underdogs, the rivals, the contest, but it doesn't put enough weight on the competition to feel the stakes, to urge you to root for the team to win. Jocks leans more into its comedy roots, in a formula that we'll call the Band of Misfits. You have a collection of socially questionable types. They don't have much, but when what little they have is threatened, they fight back, not by addressing their flaws, but leaning into them and winning with them. Whether it's saving their frat house, or police academy, or summer camp, or military unit. They win by being different, together. These are usually lowbrow comedies, and they aren't made for Oscar baiting. They're escapist fantasies to laugh at or with. Setting the conflict on a playing field is an easy way to visualize the struggle of the underdogs that shouldn't win at life, but occasionally do. At their best, these stories offer a message about accepting differences in others and in ourselves, a statement against conformity and false standards. But the worst offenders seem to be trying to sell the phrase "boys will be boys" as some kind of hero's journey. In the realm of boner comedies, Jocks gets to the naughty stuff after minute 65, when the wet t-shirt contest starts and the guys find some ladies to play strip shots with. There's also some gay panic jokes and ethnic stereotypes and other standard for the time cliches running throughout the film. And a lot of that comes from what possibly works best in the film, the misfits on the tennis team. You've got Donald Gibb being trademark Donald Gibb, a towering, terrifying, and yet hilarious presence on screen, whether in straightforward action films or walk-on roles in TV sitcoms. Stoney Jackson's character might have aged the most badly, but he's the most convincing Lothario in the film, and he would find much better movie roles throughout the decade, and also joined the cast of the sitcom 227. Trinidad Silva plays the hyperactive Latino. His most memorable role would be a few years later in Weird Al Yankovic's UHF. So the supporting characters help to bring some energy to the proceedings. The leads, not so much. And that's because they're not real misfits. In these kinds of movies, the leaders have to be cool, but they still need to feel like they belong with the misfits, and not the normals. The Kid is played by Scott Strader, an actor that producer Robert Evans called the next Tyrone Power. Yet for all of Strader's efforts, he's a miscast. But he would have been great as one of the bad guys. Jocks is the only out-and-out comedy in the filmography of director Steve Carver. Starting with Arena, Carver established himself as a director of action films through the 70s and 80s. Christopher Lee, Richard Roundtree, and R.G. Armstrong all signed on to Jocks because they previously worked with Carver on the Chuck Norris films An Eye for an Eye and Lone Wolf McQuade. Cinematographer Adam Greenberg started in the Israeli film industry. He was the cameraman for Lemon Popsicle 2, a Curse of the 100 favorite, before crossing the Atlantic to work on Hollywood productions. In fact, 6 months before Jocks went into production, Greenberg was in LA doing cinematography duties for The Terminator. Greenberg would go on to lend several iconic films of the 80s and 90s. Tom Shadyac plays one of the preppy rivals. Shortly after Jocks' release, Shadyac graduated from UCLA's film school and chose to work on the other side of the camera. His first feature as a director, Ace Ventura: Pet Detective, launched his career into the stratosphere as a creator of blockbuster comedies. Jocks is a celebration of debauchery that remembers to play some tennis before it returns to the blackjack tables. It's a party for people watching rather than mingling in. If you can laugh and wince at the same time, you may get amused by this movie. To get the most out of it, watch the folks in the margins. They're the ones that seem to be having the most fun.